What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here. We are back playing Warframe. So, I wanted to talk about something pretty quick, and that is kind of what has been revealed and what people are talking about when it comes to the new... It's not a new Stalker game mode. The opinions on the Stalker game mode that we don't know that much about. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to put this video up, so we might know a little bit more. But I just got done watching Primetime, where they struggled to get the Stalker gameplay mechanic to even work. And I just had a conversation with someone who is super excited about the Stalker game mode, but I need to give a little bit of information before we dive into this too deep. So, if you don't know, the Stalker game mode was revealed at TennoCon, and it's, like I said, it's not necessarily a game mode. It was kind of a little hidden type thing that was accessible given certain circumstances by the developers. And what I mean by that is someone who took part in a competition at Digital Extremes, or at TennoCon, was able to play as the Stalker for a short amount of time and raid other players. Now, people are really excited about this game mode, and they're hoping that it becomes a thing in Warframe. However, on Primetime, they revealed that it's not going to be the way it is currently made in-game. So basically what they're saying is, you're not going to be able to just opt into a game mode where you are the Stalker, and you get to raid anyone and anyone you want to raid. The way it was set up is that you could either randomly raid somebody, as long as you picked the planet that they were on, and it would randomly pick someone on that planet to raid, or you could stalk somebody by typing in their name into chat and going to stalk them. Now, I feel like I'm going to give my short opinion to the way the game mode stands as is. I feel like, number one, it would be far too easy to troll other players by just constantly spamming somebody as the Stalker and basically just like ruin their game experience. Could you imagine a newer player playing the game and just constantly being bombarded by the Stalker, or just in general having someone who somebody else doesn't like? Let's say, and I met a lot of streamers, I met a lot of other content creators that I think are great people that I met at TennoCon, and I don't think any one of them would be this kind of person. But could you imagine if somebody with enough following or enough of a maybe even a clan, whatever, could organize a bunch of people to constantly raid another player just to piss them off? I feel like that would be absolutely detrimental to the game. I feel like at this, part of me needs to get into a little bit more of a description of what I think what the game mode is going to turn into. But basically, I also think that if it currently stays the way it is, it could also be exploited, because I did see that the Stalker did drop at least mods during the gameplay that I saw. Maybe even like the weapons that the Stalker could possibly drop. And could you imagine someone farming up... now, I don't think they're tradable, but could you imagine someone maybe farming up the Stalker weapons like crazy? I feel like they would become less valuable, the mods would become less valuable, the market values would go down on all that stuff, which is all very important for a free-to-play game. Now, you can argue against that or for that however you want. I'm not here to argue whether, you know, I think trade values should be bigger or smaller or whatever. That's just a ridiculous thing for me to get into in a video. I just could care less. But I feel like there's some kind of value that's tied to a lot of these weapons, and it wouldn't be fair to have them just be farmable. Let's say your friend gets online and they stalk you and you just kill them over and over and over again, so you get all 3 weapons that you need and the mods or whatever. That's kind of exploitable. Now, where I'm going with this is I would like to see the game mode, to a degree, come to Warframe, which we don't know for sure yet, but it sounds like, to some degree, it will make it in-game. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But let's say Digital Extremes decides that either when you get raided by the Stalker, you are forced into a cooldown so that you can't get raided by the Stalker for another 24 hours. Now, you can agree or disagree with that, but that is one possible way that they could alter this so that it's not exploitable or allow for trolls. Now, I don't necessarily agree that might be the best way to do it. Also an opt-in function so that you can decide, yes, I do want to take part in this stalking invasion type thing and allow other people to invade me whenever they want. Okay, that might work as long as they find a way so that it's still not exploitable. They could make it so that Stalker doesn't drop anything, but if you're going to ramp up the difficulty to a mission, I feel like there has to be some kind of reward tied to it. You might agree, you might disagree. I'm just saying, just putting it out there for you guys to maybe discuss. Also, I think they could also make it mastery rank required, so that as long as you are mastery rank 10 or above, this becomes automatically activated, or you actually get to opt into it after mastery rank 10. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And also, maybe this Stalker thing is not functional until you beat the second dream. That would be... I could see that happening. I think it needs to be maybe a combination of a few things. I think the opt-in is a good thing, and maybe a quest requirement, or at least a mastery rank requirement. But I think a second dream requirement would be good too. But, I don't know, let me know what you think about maybe how they should go about doing this. This is a very heated topic at the moment in Warframe, because a lot of people want this, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna get it. I feel like they kind of hinted at it's going to be a thing, but it's just not the way, it's not going to be the way it is now. So we're gonna find out hopefully soon. It sounds like the dev stream, which, depending on when I upload this, is probably today. If this is going up on Friday, it'll be tomorrow, the dev stream. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong. But if this is going up on Saturday, the dev stream is probably coming very shortly after this video goes up. Anyways, but you guys could also be watching this days late, so I'm curious. I want to know, number one, how do you think they should go about doing the Stalker thing? Please be kind in the comments, because I'm going to get to my conversation that I had with someone in just a moment. But I want to know what you guys think. Or after they reveal what they plan on doing with it, do you think it's a good idea or not? I don't know. I guess that's what all I have to say about what we currently know and what we currently don't know. Does that make any sense? I don't know. What we know is currently the way the Stalker system works, and also the things we don't know about how it's going to change, because it's going to change. Also, we don't technically know if it's coming to the game for sure, but I think it is. But anyways, the conversation I had was with someone who we started out talking about this new Stalker mechanic, and I started out saying, yeah, I think we need to have something like this in-game, but I feel like it's too easily exploited, or like I said, it's easy to troll somebody by doing so. And then I kind of mentioned what I said to you guys is maybe we do an opt-in function, this or that. And then they basically said, like, we kind of agreed that there kind of should be some kind of requirement, but they kind of disagreed that that you can opt in or opt out. They basically said, yeah, you shouldn't be able to troll new players, and there shouldn't be a way to exploit it. We kind of agreed on that, but they kind of said they should force it upon players, so that it makes the game more difficult. And then I said, I don't think it should be forced upon players. I feel like you should be able to opt in, opt out. And then they mentioned that they think that because we went into like PvP, and they said the game is literally going to die and is dying if DE doesn't start focusing on PvP. And while I think PvP is a very good addition to the game, I feel like that is very untrue. I feel like the game, because it updates as much as it does, it's not going to die without PvP. I feel like, yes, they need to include more PvP to the game, but I don't feel like it needs to be their main focus. Also, they mentioned, because of the new open world aspect of the game, a spoiler alert, you should know that by now, but with the new open world aspect of the game, they said if you can't PvP in the open world without any repercussions, let's say if you walk out in the open world and you decide, oh, I'm gonna go take on this quest or this mission, they said that you should be able to be attacked by any other player, similar to old school Diablo 2. I don't remember if it was in Diablo 1, but in Diablo 2, if you went into the open world, you were susceptible to anyone that wanted to kill you. That's just how it was. And I feel like that is so open to players being absolutely trolled, and open to players getting pissed off and quitting the game for good. I feel like that is a terrible way to go. I mentioned that currently there is only, and this is subject to change, but at TennoCon they mentioned that when you leave the settlement, you will enter the world, the open world, with your party. You won't jump into the open world with the other 26 million registered players. Obviously, there's not going to be that many, but you won't jump into the open world with 100 other players that are on the server. That's just not going to happen. You're going to join with your party. I would like to see that party be increased to maybe raid-sized. Maybe in the appropriate circumstance. I don't want to jump onto Earth with level 3 to 5 enemies and have an 8-man party. I think that's just overkill. But I would like to see maybe the option of having a pretty significant sized party, 8 to 16 players, and that's a stretch. I'd say as high as 8 players, be able to be in the open world at once. And that's me talking about, like, endgame stuff, such as, let's say we get into a boss fight, and this boss has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hit points. I feel like that would be super cool. But I would like to see that large team-based ability, and like I said, within reason. I don't want to see the game crashing here, like all over the place. I don't want to see the difficulty be way too easy, which is hard to balance. And I also don't want to see, like, I don't know, like I said, like being raided by other players and having things just be overkill. I'm not gonna name names, but this person that I was talking about that thinks that PvP should be, to a degree, thrust upon players, I think is unnecessary. But I would like to see PvP come to open world to some degree. Now, like I said, I don't want to be rated. I want it to be some sort of opt-in function. And at the same time, I don't think that's anywhere near anywhere close to being a thing. I don't think we're going to see open world PvP happen in Warframe anytime soon. I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong, but I don't see Digital Extremes focusing on PvP, especially in this this new open world system, until they feel like this thing is fairly polished. But the reason why I feel like this is an important topic to discuss, and I feel like we need to talk about it, is this person said, if they don't have PvP in the open world, I'm uninstalling this game, and this game is doomed to fail. And I think that is absolutely false. I feel like this game is going to continue growing because they consistently update the game, and I feel like, yeah, they kind of do need to figure out what they're going to do for endgame players. I feel like they need to expand on PvP. I feel like there's a lot that they need to do to the game, you know, in the future. But I feel like they're doing a good job of trying to help new players, expand content, give us new stuff, and do it one after another without killing the experience for one specific group. I feel like we're looping back around to where obviously open world is going to drastically change this game. I need to radiant these, so I'm not going to use these yet. But I feel like they're looping back around to making endgame players happy, and I feel like this open world is going to cover all the bases when it comes to new players, endgame players, and new content. I feel like they're doing a good job covering all those bases, but I really would like to see some endgame stuff for, I don't want to say players like myself, because I dabble in a lot of mid-game stuff. I like challenging myself with strange builds or, you know, whatever. But I just think it's foolish to consider the game dead, you know, because I feel like there are plenty of players still active in game, and I feel like this new update is going to not just bring a lot of people back to the game, but honestly, I think it's going to keep a lot of people in the game. Because honestly, one thing that I dislike about Warframe, on top of so many other games, is I feel like every time I finish a mission and I go back to my orbiter, I feel like I am pulled out of the experience, and then I go, I don't really want to start up another mission right now, and then I leave the game for a few hours or the rest of the day, and I come back to it. And I feel like that is something that Digital Extremes is very, very aware of, and I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. So I think that's their focus right now, is to keep people playing the game, and I get it. People are talking about, oh, Digital Extremes is... This is one thing that we were talking about to this guy, and that's when I was kind of like, you don't really understand the way the world works, do you? And I didn't say that, but I was like, it's a free-to-play game, and how do you think they pay their bills and make a salary? Is they need to make content difficult to get. It's just, otherwise you'd be buying this game for $60. They would do paid DLC until they felt like, we'll just stop making content. Like plenty of other games, you get a AAA title that costs $60. They charge you $15 on average. You get about $15 for a DLC. They do about 3 DLCs, and then the game dies. And Warframe doesn't do that. Warframe, they constantly update. Like I said, every week they have new content. It might be little stuff, and obviously, you know, there's things happen, and they may not get an update every single week, but their intention is to consistently update the game and not charge us for it unless we choose to buy it ourselves. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I have financially supported this game plenty of times, but at the same time, I have earned so many items in game myself because I don't know. I felt like, I don't know. I didn't want to do the grind. I didn't want to do the grind, so I'll admit that. But yeah, if people think that that they need to be handed everything, they need to get all the DLCs for free. They shouldn't have the grind should be easier, and we shouldn't have to pay for anything. And the programmers and the concept artists and everybody at Digital Extremes should be working for free are just absolutely ridiculous. They're fooling themselves. No one will do that. Even if you love a thing, if you can't physically support yourself, it's impossible. I'm sorry, but you just can't. You can't do it. So, and I want to say this is not biased because I'm trying to be as open with this as possible. I have stated my opinion on what I think Digital Extremes needs to work on plenty of times, but at the same time, my experiences with the actual developers have always been positive. Always. And I don't know. I don't have anything really negative to say about them because, honestly, I've had enough experience in the real world to understand the way the world works. I mean, I've had a job. I won't go too into depth because it's a little bit personal and probably not too many people want to hear it. But I've worked at a job for the one that I'm thinking of specifically. I've worked at a job for over 3 years. I have blood, sweat, and tears into this job. I've worked. I could go into a shift expecting 8 hours and end up working 16 with breaks that technically would cause a lawsuit where I wasn't given the breaks that I should have, and it's technically breaks laws in my country, but I didn't say anything because I was afraid I would lose my job and just whatever. And then all it took was for me to have one mistake on one very busy day of the year and have my boss tell me the next day that I no longer have a job, because that's just the way the world works. And life is unfair, and from what I've experienced at Digital Extremes, they have been nothing but fair. I have had, like I said, I've had plenty of experience in corporations. I've had plenty of experience in all sorts of different things in life, and I feel like I've never felt like I've been taken advantage of in this game yet. So I don't know. I will be completely open. I got to go to TennoCon. I got to have dinner with a couple of the devs and the other content creators, and I had an amazing time. So I'm doing a video on that, so if you guys truly care about my point of view and the vlog, because I'm doing a vlog about it, if you guys truly care about my point of view, feel free to check that out. I hope you guys understand how incredible those few days were to me, and I will once again reiterate in that vlog that I respect every single one of those guys that I met, and I have nothing but good things to say about everyone that I met in that short time span. But I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to finish this off. You guys want to watch me finish off this this defense? And maybe you do, but I'm sorry. Not happening. But let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about this whole Stalker, you know, dealio? Before or after we find out exactly what's going on? I'm really, really curious. Yeah, do you guys think that we should get the Stalker thing the way it is? Should we see a reworked version of what is already going on, or do you think that the whole thing is just a bad idea and we shouldn't do it? Also, what's your opinion on PvP and how maybe the developers should go about working on it in the future? And the reason why I'm super curious is, number one, for my own personal, you know, like, thoughts and opinions, but also, I know Digital Extremes, I didn't realize this until I actually met some of the developers, but the developers are so hands-on and they read so much that happens that you guys say in your guys' opinions. You guys would be surprised. I'm serious. You guys would be surprised how many pages and pages and pages of forums and opinions that these guys read in order to examine what we as an audience think about the game and what we think needs to happen in game. So it's so important for you guys to be constructive when it comes to your opinions, because like I said, they are listening. Maybe not specifically, they're not tuning into my channel to find out everything there is to know about Warframe, but they are listening, and changes will be made based on what the community thinks as a whole. And I'm so grateful for DE to actually listening to us. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, DE, even though you're not watching this video. I appreciate every one of you, Digital Extreme, and you guys that are watching this video. There's gonna be, this is self-promotion, whatever, but I am more active on my Twitter and Instagram and my Twitch now that I just have really seen how awesome this stuff is, and hopefully you guys check out that stuff and talk. You know, let me know what your thoughts are about anything and everything. Anything and everything. I don't quote me on that, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm gonna die. Until next time, blow!